Well, we are here for the very first episode of a show we're calling The Narrative. Come on, somebody make some noise. Man, it's been such a long time coming. I became a pastor and I just kind of went into hiding. I guess that's what happens, right? You go into ministry and you kind of disappear for the glory of God.
Yes, for sure.
We had a show called A Greater Story, and this podcast, this platform, this television show is a part of it, but it's a new show called The Narrative. We say around here all the time that when your story connects to God's story, it leads to a greater story. With so many stories out there, we want to get the story right. Come on, can I just... I practiced that one.
Get it right.
Okay? And so this is The Narrative. My name's Sam Collier for everybody watching. And I'm the host, I'm the founder of A Greater Story Ministry, Story Church, all the above. But who we are here with today is an incredible friend of mine, a brother of mine, someone I used to drive around when I was 16, and he doesn't remember. But God was forming a friendship and a relationship through mentorship. Never did we know that we'd be reconnected 10 years later, arm in arm, doing ministry together. I actually have a friend here, Ina, she's like in the back. You can see her, she's waving, hello. I've told you this story before. This is the truth, but I'm gonna reintroduce in a second. I've told you this story before. I remember where I was the first time I heard your very first single, On Duty.
Okay.
Same old block.
Same old blocks.
Different, but still the same?
Like plainclothes.
I was in Ina's car.
Wow.
And we were at church, and it was when you had to take the CD player and hook it up to the tape player.
Aux. With the aux?
Yeah. But it wasn't quite an aux. It was like this. It was, you put the tape.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, what? Who is this? You know. And so it's surreal to be here with you, to be here with Ina, to be here with the family. 10 to 20 years later, man, just dreaming and watching you shine like never before. Wow. This is a big moment because you've come out with an incredible album.
Yeah.
And the album is really a reintroduction to you, but it's the evolution of the truth. Your name is going away.
Yes.
Artist formerly known
this is a
as the Truth, now being birthed as Emanuel.
Yeah.
Can we make some noise for that? Come on. Emanuel! I gotta say this. You're gonna talk in a second, but I want to give you your flowers. I'm pulling up the phone because I want you to know I listened to the album. Okay, boom. Emanuel is the album, and this is a huge album because Fred Hammond is on it.
Yeah.
Todd Delaney is on it. Dante Bowe, Greg Cox, Tamala Mann, Miranda Curtis, Myron Butler, Kim Burrell, Rich Tolbert, Tamala Mann again, Yolanda Adams, PJ Morton. What is going on? And I just wanted to stop. I need come on, just looking at it wherever you are. This is a huge moment. You don't have gospel albums, Christian hip hop albums, even mainstream albums with this many features.
It's a lot of firepower.
3 years in the making?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give us the story just really quick.
Yeah.
You know, I know you want to say hey and
No.
2-time Grammy nominated Christian hip hop artist. How many Dove Awards?
3 Dove
nominations, 8 Stellars. 4 Stellars.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. How many albums?
I think this is the 13th.
13th
album. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Tell us the story, man.
So I started working on this album in the pandemic.
Yeah.
I think we all did stuff in the pandemic. Y'all probably worked on albums in the pandemic. Everybody was working on something that was like their inner child. So I started working on it. Greg and I, he went out and actually got this software.
Who's Greg?
Oh, Greg Cox, producer, songwriter, incredible vocalist.
Did an incredible job.
Oh my gosh, he's just incredible.
Yeah.
And he went out and got this software that, because we were trying to do it over the phone, and it was tragic trying to. So he got this software that allowed for me to hear all of the instrumentation directly into my ears.
Yeah.
And we literally spent probably 8 to 10 hours every day during the pandemic just working out ideas, fleshing out ideas. What a lot of people don't know about me is I'm actually a producer first.
Yeah, yeah.
Musician, producer. And so,
drummer.
They
used to call you the animal.
The animal. Yeah.
Okay.
I actually had like the animal shirt, and then you press the button, and you're like,
But they called you the animal because you hit the drums
I hit the
so
drums
hard.
really hard. Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like my personality. It's like it was too much.
Okay. I love it.
So yeah, I was going to go to Berklee College of Music. I had a partial scholarship to University of the Arts. That was really going to be my life, music. And somewhere along the line, I ended up stumbling onto this hip hop thing. There was a mistake. And the moment that it kind of got serious, music began to take a back seat. Well, music as I knew it began to take a back seat.
Right.
And what I didn't realize was that later, all of that musicianship, because 4 years I was in, my 4 years in high school, I was in the music magnet program, so Overbrook High School, third highest ranking music magnet program in the entire country. So I was there for 4 years, and then from there I went to college, and my first year in college was for music. And then I ended up going to New York to play with a musical. Now it was a bunch of stuff. I was a recording student, so the whole nine. So,
Overbrook is in Philly?
Overbrook is in Philly.
Connected to Will Smith.
Yeah.
Got it. We won't. Got it.
But Will Smith and I went to the same school.
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
What's the line? Born and raised?
West Philadelphia.
Okay.
Born and raised.
That's your story?
That's my story.
Wow.
Playgrounds is where I spent most of my days. Chilling on Max.
No. Okay, go.
Up to the,
no.
Right. So anyway,
Philadelphia.
I'm playing. So music, as I knew, the way that I thought it was going to happen, didn't. What ended up happening was all of the musicality that I had kind of gained throughout the years ended up kind of finding its way into what I'm doing now, hip hop.
Wow.
Which is why my music sounds so musical.
Yeah. Well, and let's take a pause right there, because I feel like when you listen to the album Emanuel, I mean, it's strings. Time changes.
Yeah.
And if you're not a musician, you may not notice it, but if you are a musician, you're going, whoa, we in 3/4, and then we went to 6, 5. What is happening, y'all? So you can hear all that musicality. I mean, I just want to say again, I don't have this power, but I just want to. I feel like it's award winning. Yeah. The album is award winning.
Yeah. There are certain projects out of 13, about 4 of them I felt like you, and this is one. The artist knows too. You get to the end of it and you're like, man, I think this is award winning. This is pretty good body of work.
I got a question for you. So, 13 albums. There was an album a few seasons ago, You and an Apologist, and you haven't had as many features. Like when you go through your body of work, it's not a ton of features on a ton of stuff. Why so many features on this one, which is amazing? I'm like, again, 3 years in the making. I remember when we were in the car riding around, you were like, man, I got, this is what I'm working on with PJ and Fred. I'm like, how do you know all these people? But, like why all of the,
Yeah, well, first of all, I just, the fact that I can, that these are like, just these are friends of mine is, that's not like a light flex. That's just like, I'm honored and humbled by that reality. And being able to just put a call in or shoot a text without going through the red tape.
Yeah.
Saying, bro.
Yeah.
I got this idea, can I send it to you? This is actually the 3rd song I sent to Kim Burrell. She hated the first 2. So
she hated the first 2?
Big sis,
what?
I need you. She's like, all right, send it. I was like, cool, I sent it. Radio silent.
Try again.
Try again. I did it again. So this was the 3rd attempt. She was like, I love it. Said, oh my God. All right, let's go.
Now, okay.
I'm gonna answer that question.
Okay, no, you go. Because I got another question.
Okay,
go ahead.
So as far as the, for me, features are partnerships for me. It's hard for me to even think of them as features. I see it as really, when I hear a song or I hear it, get an idea, a melody line, there are certain artists that the first thing I'm thinking about is, because I have to demo the song. I have to demo
You're
the
singing.
chorus.
You're
I'm
singing the song.
and I'm like, okay, so I can't do this, right? I have the idea,
Yeah.
but I can't be the one singing, or Greg might sing it, right? And Greg can't be on another song. He on 15 songs already.
Right.
So between the two
You're
of
like,
us,
y'all in the studio, Greg, just sing it.
You sing it.
Yeah.
But you know what happens organically is you begin to run through the Rolodex of your mind and think about who best fits this moment, because that's the goal for me. It's not like who is the most high-profile artist I can get. I don't think that way. I think about what artist fits the moment. What artist can help me to create a moment for the listener, and kind of craft an experience for the listener. And so, you know, that's literally my process. I know it's a lot of big names, but for me, I would go with a smaller name if they provided the experience for the people.
Yeah.
And so, as I was working on this album, you know, when I was working on Free, I couldn't help but think about Kim. When I was working on Gray Hair, who else could you hear on Gray Hair but PJ?
I know.
You know, it's like, who else can you hear on King except Fred? It's like nobody else.
We're gonna get to that. Okay,
So,
wait,
yeah, so
stop. Because you know that's my
So let me
song.
finish. So my point is, I have to, for me, I cannot compromise the integrity of the music. That's what it is for me. I have to honor the music. And so the question that I'm always asking is, who will help me honor the music here? And thankfully, it's always high profile. Thankfully, it's Fred.
Yeah. Come on, let's make some noise. I love that. We gotta honor the music.
Yeah.
What a line.
Yeah.
I think this is a great segue. I'm gonna come back to the album, but I'm gonna press pause.
Okay, cool.
One of the things that this album represented for me, knowing you personally, driving you around when I was 15, you not remembering and then us reconnecting. You did remember, okay, at some point, a sliver.
A sliver.
But it should be said that you were doing this in every city. So when we talk about the idea of longevity, and we think about, you know, because there are people watching that are going, man, you can just pick up the phone and call Kim. Yolanda Adams is on the record. Like, what is, these are people when they walk in the room, we go, you know, there's Yolanda Adams.
Yeah.
But the reason that you can do that is because you've been doing it for so long, faithfully, and I love that line, and honoring the music at every turn. So for me, this is big because if anybody's been following your journey, we had Vet, which was a previous album.
Yeah.
I think it was 2 albums ago, because we had Chasing Ghosts. See, I'm a fan.
he's
I'm
a
a fan. You didn't know I knew. Now we start getting to 3 and 4. But Vet was kind of your reintroduction after a massive hiatus. But this kind of feels like your reintroduction to the industry.
Jesus.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You were at the Grammys recently.
Yeah.
And there was something about it. Okay, I'm gonna go to Vet. Okay, this is for Truth fans for a second. On Vet, you said, I'm not worried about awards.
Yeah.
I'm done chasing awards. I don't care about, I just want to get back to when it wasn't about the numbers.
Yeah.
That's what you said on Vet.
Yes.
So you kind of looked at the Grammys and the Stellars and the Doves and you were like, I've been there.
Yeah.
Because if people follow you, they know that you are considered as one of Christian hip hop's pioneers, CHH.
Yeah.
You're a pioneer.
Yeah.
A living legend among. Okay, what was that? I'm glad I remembered that. Because I was in the car riding, I was like, man, he's a legend. And he's just a homie we at Starbucks eating sausage, egg, and cheese sandwiches. But let's not lose the honor for what God has birthed through you, the reintroduction. So you have this period of your career where it's awards. How many city tours with Kurt?
Oh,
40?
Jesus, no. I toured, was it 82 cities?
82 cities around the world.
Around the world, yeah.
Rome?
No, we didn't do international. It was all domestic.
But you've toured in Rome, I
Yes,
think.
oh yeah. I mean, I've toured every continent. So
Yeah.
I've toured every continent. Yeah.
Tours, awards, all of this.
Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah.
And then you kind of just went away.
Yeah.
And then you came back. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm just in a vet. And now I'm like, oh, he's back on the red carpet at the Grammys. Which, if anyone knows anything about the Grammys, you can't just walk into the Grammys. It's a music-led, operation.
Yeah.
So you have to be a voter. You have to be this. You have to qualify. All these other things. You can't just walk up to the Grammys.
Yeah.
But because you were nominated twice, that puts you in a lot of spaces. That happened, even though it happened a while ago, it's like, oh, I'm kind of right back. And you're in pictures with your friends. We had a personal conversation.
We did.
You're texting me on the red carpet. I'm like, you're on the red, get out of here. Because that's just not you. You're like, I'm on the red carpet. I'm like, what is going on?
Hit you right back, bro.
I hit you right back. And then you were at some strange party.
Oh, yeah.
And you were like, why am I at this party? I mean, it was so many things going on. But it's a reintroduction. And I've said this to you offline. The space that you operated in Christian hip hop, there's a lot of spaces that have been filled, which has been amazing. We want to shout out Lecrae. We want to shout out Trip Lee. We want to shout out the whole Reach, Andy Mineo, the whole Reach Records movement.
Yeah.
But there was a unique space that you operated that was never filled.
Yeah.
And it's that space, and we're going to talk about apologetics in a second, but it's that space of contending for the faith through music and being able to toe the line back and forth. There are a lot of rappers that are Christians, and I'm talking a lot, there's a lot of rappers that are Christians that don't want to be considered Christian artists.
For sure.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
You do want to be considered a Christian. And so there's a little bit of it. So it's a unique space. You got criticism for going to the Grammys.
Yeah, I did.
Let's just go ahead and talk about that.
Okay.
As we talk about, talk about the reintroduction to the industry.
Yeah.
Why.
Yeah.
And how you navigated criticism. And you're an apologist, which this is what you like to do.
Yeah, so this all comes together.
So talk to us.
So my reintroduction to the industry has been really cool. One of the things I discovered is that no matter how busy you are, how many shows you sell out, if you're not seen in industry spaces, people don't know you out here. So that's been interesting. People are like, oh, you back? I'm like, I just played a 6,000 seater, but they just people don't know unless they see you in certain spaces, which was really eye-opening for me this year, and actually really encouraging, because I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's go.
Right.
I'm gonna be at every industry event for the next 5 years. Right. But the reason why I backed out of the industry was because I had grown disenchanted with it. It's industry is industry is industry is industry, whether Christian or not. And so it all carries a lot of the same challenges. Industry is there's a lot of pomp and circumstance. There's a lot of, that's not all it is. There are some goods. Let me qualify the statement here. Obviously, there's a lot good about the industry. Right. But the part that gnaws at you, the real person, the part that gnaws at you is the pomp and the circumstance, the fluff, a lot of empty promises, empty conversations. Wow. In fact, even when I was, at the Grammys this year, part of the Bible says that Jesus was standing on the mountain and he looked out and he saw Israel, and the Bible says that his heart was wrenched for them and filled with compassion because he saw them as sheep without a shepherd. Wow. And so even being at the Grammys this year, I had a moment when I was at certain Grammy parties where I was looking around, when I was surveying the room, and I was like, oh, the people are so empty. Everybody's dressed and everybody looks amazing. And the music is incredible, but everybody's so empty. And I felt the anemia of the soul. Like, there's a lot of bravado, but you're thin, internally, emotionally thin, spiritually thin. And so I had a lot of those moments this year at the Grammys. But being back in the industry was really exciting, just by virtue of the fact that I understand now, okay, I had to be here. But it was good that I was away for the time that I was, just because I got a chance to miss it and get rejuvenated. And so this year, going to the Grammys, coming back, I did not expect this, I'll be honest. But my timeline was riddled with, it's still to this day, 6 days later, riddled with criticisms from the body of Christ. And a lot of it, let me tell you something, for the first time, because I am an advocate for the church, I do believe that the church is the bride of Christ. I believe that we have to be careful how we talk about her. I believe that the bride of Christ should be honored regardless of our indiscretions and our clear brokenness and ambiguity, our checkered past and all the things.
Yeah.
I think that the church still is to be honored.
Amen.
This year was the first time that I felt like, ooh, these church folks.
Okay, let's dive deep a little bit.
And I think, good.
It's the narrative. We want to get the story right.
Yeah.
Part of it has to deal with, there were many individuals that said there were like a demonic seance,
Yeah,
like
for sure.
some things happening at the
sure.
Grammys.
Yeah.
So I felt like this year was more heightened, I
For
guess.
sure, yes.
The controversy than past. And that's, we've got friends at the Grammy Association, and we know that they're phenomenal people. So this is no knock on them.
Yeah.
This is just certain performances had certain things, Christians, and
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think this year, here's the interesting thing. And the people that I went with, they were taken aback by all the things that were happening. There was a lot going on.
all the details.
There was a lot going on. It was. The thing was, I actually, I was unmoved.
Yeah.
I was unmoved. And it's not because I'm desensitized. I could be, but I don't think that's what it was. I think it's because nothing happened that I didn't expect to. Because if you are a student of culture today, worse things are happening in music video. There's certain things that are happening in music videos, that made what I saw at the Grammys actually less impactful to me. Because I felt like I had seen it. There was a music video that was very similar to Sam Smith's performance that killed all of 2021 was the talk of the, however many millions of views it got. It was a cultural moment. And so that performance, I got it. I get why people, certain sensitivities were. So I get that 1,000%. But I personally wasn't taken aback. I just felt like, oh, this is why we're here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I felt, and that's what I felt on the red carpet too. That's what I felt at the parties that I attended. I felt, this is why we're here. This is the Jesus at the table with the publicans and the sinners, This is Jesus attending the weddings and the feasts where there's drunkenness and debauchery, and this is where we get to shine our light in a different context, in a different way. And so, there was a lot of debauchery for sure. There were a lot of things that were dishonoring to God for sure. There was a lot of sacrilege for sure. But I think it's par for the course. I think that's to be expected given the current cultural climate that we're in. And so now that we as the people of God can identify that that's what this is and that's what it's going to be, and it will not get better, because that's what the Word of God says, that over time, things will not get progressively better. They, in fact, will get progressively worse in the last days. And so my expectation is not for things to get better. And so now what we have to do is take a step back and begin to think, what is our responsibility? What is it that we can, how do we now engage this culture in light of where they are? And
Well, I think one of the things that we often miss is the Grammys isn't a religious institution.
Not at all.
It is a shell, if you would, for all types of music around the world.
Yep.
And they come together, and to your point, that's why it's important that we're there.
Yeah.
Because our music genre is represented and we're able to be in that space. I heard a Christian artist who was talking about this. He was getting heat too, right? Now he wasn't one like he was screaming on Instagram. Y'all that he was going crazy.
He was saying, what was that thing where Obama had the translator?
Oh, the anger translator.
He was my anger translator.
He was your anger translator. But he talked about, he said a statement that I thought really encapsulated the moment, and it echoes what you said. He said, if you're not called there, don't go there.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
If you're not called there, don't go there, because you won't have the grace
Yes.
to exist
Yes.
in the space.
Yes.
And I mean, I don't want to go too far,
No,
but
go.
we talk all the time about being prepared
Yeah.
to engage dark forces.
Yeah. I think there are a couple points I want to make. One is, and I just want to go back a little bit, people also have to understand that the worst part of the Grammys is not the total sum of the entire week, let alone the entire show. So I think it's also unfair to pigeonhole the Grammys and to really kind of, what's what I'm looking for, take one or two performances
And characterize the
entire thing on the basis of those two performances, because there's a lot more things that happened that were actually pretty dope that we could all appreciate. So I do want to say that.
Yeah.
And to your point, just about engaging dark forces, you know, yeah, I think that it's interesting. Well, I was at one of the Grammy parties. And I sent you some of the videos. I couldn't show that footage to everybody, but
I was
there was a lot happening.
You're in a unique space.
Yeah, I was in a unique space. but
And we're not calling Sam Smith anybody dark forces.
no, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at
We're
all.
just
I
saying-
did want to qualify that. I'm glad you said it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just the expression in
Yeah.
the way that it was interpreted.
We're not making any statements about
For
anybody.
sure. Absolutely. 1000%.
Yeah.
So I think that this moment I was at this the Grammy party I sent you the videos for, and it's interesting. God walks up to me because you'll be. I'm always shocked at how many people know me in those spaces.
Right.
You know, and they're like, well, you know, what's up? You know,
Yeah.
You still doing the Christian?
And you like, yes.
Yeah. I'm like,
What's up, boy?
What's up,
right.
bro? You still doing toxic youth, bro?
Oh my God.
I'm playing. I would never say that. Never, ever.
You still talk about women.
Being misogynist.
Okay, stop.
I'm just playing. I would never say that. All right, bring it back. Edit that. All right. Anyway, so midway through all the madness, God walks up to me. Hey, bro. I'm like, yeah, hey. Hugging it up.
Right.
He's like, bro, you know, honestly, I grew up on your music. I'm out here in LA now, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, dope, bro. He was like, bro, I got some questions for you. The music is blaring.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a party.
It's a party. I got questions for you. I was like, all right, what's up? Man, I'm trying to find my purpose. Man, I want to find my purpose. I'm trying to find my purpose. I don't know how to find my purpose. You can tell it's gnawing at him. You can tell like it's... And I was like, I said, okay, talk to me about some of what you've been wrestling with. And man, we talked for an hour and a half in the middle of the party. And this is the part you can't see. These are the moments that escape the critics. And it reminds me of LeBron James's famous quote about the man in the arena. As long as you are making an assessment about a thing from your ivory tower, it's always easy to be a critic. It's not until you're right in the middle of it that you really get an understanding of, oh, this is the call. This hour and a half, because we didn't stop at purpose. We started at purpose. We didn't stop at purpose. And by the time that conversation is over, that guy wants to know, how can we keep talking? You know, and these are in environments where, that's what I'm saying. You just never, now if you're partaking, if you're partaking and you're joining in and that's obviously problematic. But I do think that just in terms of and it made me think, it literally made me think, this is why I went to school for apologetics. This is why I did it.
Right.
Because what it taught me was the art of engagement. How to successfully and strategic engage with people that have barriers. And I'm in an environment where there ain't nothing but barriers. But the same people with barriers always also have questions. And so what apologetics does is it helps you to find the middle and pull those two things together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How do I connect with the person who has deep existential questions, but barriers that keep them from hearing what you have to say about it? And that's what apologetics has helped me to do.
Yeah.
And so this year was just really different for me, and I really enjoyed it. It was really purposeful, and I can't wait for the next mainstream secular event.
Come on, let's make some noise. Let's make some noise. Well, I want to make one statement, and then we get back to the album. I think a through line of everything that you're saying, I just kept hearing the word humanity. You know, we gotta get back to that, to this point as Christians where we're able to see the humanity of someone on a journey.
Oh, Jesus.
And remember our journey. I got a lot of friends here. I mean, if you scan the room, some of these people, you see them on albums and you'll see them in the future and they own commercials, and we strategically, asked for them to be here because we wanted the body of Christ to be here, but specifically leaders to be among us as we kind of wrestle with these topics. And so scan the room, follow them on Instagram. But one of the things I think for all of us, it's like I got friends here that knew me when.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got friends here that walked up to me and said, "Man, you a pastor now. Look at if God can change, you know what I mean? Come on, man. It's like, but when you were on the red carpet and when you're having those conversations, all I can think about is, man, I remember when I was that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wasn't an evil person.
Yeah.
I just didn't know. I was learning, I was growing, I was a product of what I was around. I was struggling with my traumas and with my environment, and we're not gonna talk about being black in America and what that means, and trying to, I'm like, I grew up on Wayne, and it's like, that's how I learned about women, and Montel Jordan is a friend. I listen to that song every day. Yes. This is how we do. I said, this is how we do. Okay, this is how we do. It's Friday night. And the party's on the west side.
Exegete that thing.
So I reach from I'm just kidding. But I remember, I was 9 when I heard that song.
Wow. Jesus.
I was 9. I'm in therapy now. All of us are, right? We talk about therapy all the time.
Yeah.
But I remember, and then we get back to the album, because I do think all of this is in line with many of the themes in the album. This idea of becoming. The whole switch from truth to Emmanuel is a journey of becoming. Yeah. What God wants from you in this new season. Yes. There's a new season. There's a reintroduction. There's a new grace. There's a new mantle. There's a new sound, and you can hear that. But I remember being in therapy, and we were just going back on my childhood because I was trying to figure out why I did certain things. I'm like, why? And I remember my therapist said, you were probably too young to hear that song. Your brain didn't know what to do with it.
Jesus.
And so when I'm just red carpet, addressing the critics. And if you're not called there, don't go there. It's like, man, please, I just want us to get back to seeing the humanity in people, because I feel like it would really help us love them well.
You said it. Man, no, so much of this project is that.
Jeez.
It is part of the reason, one reason why I changed my name is because of what it means. God is with me, and God is with us all. And another reason why I changed my name is because it spoke to the evolution, which for me was, I feel like the truth kind of had all the answers. And
please go ahead. I'm going to comment. Go ahead, please.
Emmanuel's just, I'm like,
It's that statement. It's like I've heard theologians say this: the more you learn about God,
Yeah.
the more you realize you don't know.
all day and night, all day and night, because a lot of what I thought I knew about God was very boxed in. So I had God in like these categories, like,
Yeah.
oh, this is who he is, all the time. In fact, he's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. And the same yesterday, today, and forevermore were the boxes that I had created for him. So that's the interesting thing about when people say he's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. The question is, what do you think that sameness is? Because that sameness is oftentimes built around these constructs that we build up based on, things that we learn about him through various things that we filter through our worldview. And so for me, when some of those constructs begin to kind of get dismantled, you like
The deconstruction.
Deconstruction. Your system is shot. You're like, oh shoot, I thought he was only this. He's this too? But I thought he was more like this than that. Just found out last week he's more like this than that. Once you start going through that process, once I started going through that process, I really did come to a place where I'm like, the truth is not that it's not true of me. It's just that it's not what leads anymore. I'm leading now with more nuance, more understanding of the complexities, more humanity, more, I'm just the bro. Like, Bible says that Jesus he is our elder brother. That's a fascinating passage if you think about it. That Jesus, it seems too familiar. It's like, wait, why are you minimizing who Jesus is? The book of Hebrews literally says he is our he's the older brother. And Emmanuel feels very much to me like the elder brother. I'm just a big bro. I don't claim to know it all or have all the answers or to get it all right, and that's not an excuse to get it all wrong. It is just to say that I'm clear about my frailty and my humanity now. And what that does is it sobers me and helps me to connect with other people's humanity. And last thing I want to say, which is not as deep, but I do want to say this. I was also at the Grammys because I wanted to be at the Grammys.
Come on, let's make some noise.
We're not always on mission.
You're not always on mission.
We're not always on mission.
And you went and got a suit.
I went and got a suit and enjoyed the Grammys.
Yeah.
And I knew how to filter it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just say one more thing? Okay, we gotta give it. But since we're talking about Truth and Emmanuel, we're rounding third base. We're gonna end with some of your favorite moments in the studio with some of our favorite artists.
Yeah.
And obviously you're one of our favorites as well. That's why we're here. But I want to talk about this because I've had it's just so. I met you when you were Truth.
Yeah.
I met you when you were like an Old Testament prophet. You was like this or nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I remember playing you something I was 15, I'll never forget this. I remember playing something and one of the, pastors curse on the pulpit to make
for sure.
It's like they try to the word hell is in the Bible, so they like try to, and it's like, and then the A word is in the Bible, they're like, let me, it's like, and the crowd loves it, and they're like, you went in. You like, but you just, and I remember playing you something because I was excited, and you said, whoo. No. That's ridiculous. Right? Blasphemy. And that was a large part of how you, not how you built, but a lot of the audience that you built, and that's one of the things you're even navigating now.
I am.
It came from that really that super legalistic place, but also, I mean, you went to Oxford, right? Seminary, all these other things. You're a brilliant mind, and you had to go on that journey to develop this really deep theology and understanding the scriptures back and forth. I mean, it's, I think was it you? I don't know if it was you, or if it was KB. We were in the car, and somebody was talking about, no, it was Deuce. And he started talking about Ambassador. He started talking about names in the Bible we never heard of.
Right.
We said, what? Where is that at? That's it. And so you went on this journey, and it's interesting that now you're even deeper, and you've transitioned to Emanuel, and it seems as if the deeper you've gone, the more humble and meek you've become. And that's inspirational, because I think for all of us, when we first get saved and we give our life to Christ, we're in this space where we're just like, I want to know everything. I want to know everything. I want to get it all right. I want to get it all right. And we feel as if the deepest version of ourselves is here.
Yes.
So I know this, and this is what it says, and and I can call this. But what you're showing, and this is obviously with Jesus, right? Last shall be the least shall be, all these, servant, humble, all these other things. The greatest among you shall be the servant. What you're showing us is like, the deeper you go, the lower you go.
Jesus.
And Emanuel, I mean, that's your actual name.
That's my actual name.
But it feels as if it's like truth.
Yeah.
Emanuel.
Yeah.
Emanuel. And so.
Yeah. And it's interesting because right now I'm in the Emanuel phase, and from the vantage point of my supporters, because they're like, they enjoyed this guy better. And so a lot of them see this as a compromise. So it's like, I just have to stay consistent, because they're like, no, we want hard news. And I wouldn't call all of it legalistic. I was just saying,
of course,
some of it was for sure.
Some, not all. Not all.
Yeah, but some of it was just. I'll put it this way, and I was just talking to a brother here tonight. Certain things. I have industry friends that our relationship is mended now, but it wasn't always. Because I was arguing with everybody. I was in the green room on tour arguing with everybody.
Can you give one example?
No, I'm not gonna give examples.
No names.
No names, but like we be on tour together. They be up there. I'm talking like tour.
Yeah.
And they be up there and they be singing, and I'm sitting up there exegeting the song. I'm like, that's so unbiblical. I'm like, yeah, we fall down, but we get up. But you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Are you saying we fall down like to be licentious, or that's who I was. And so I was in all the green rooms, just going in, just
in their face,
just in their face. I wasn't I wasn't subtweeting. I was like, so I'm really trying to reconcile, and I'm sitting there trying to they like, why are we doing this? And
I just want to go eat.
I just want to eat. But what I've discovered is that the truth of the matter is this: let's say I was right.
Yeah.
Part of this evolution is not, forgive the double negative, but it's not knowing that you're right. It's knowing how to pick and choose your spots, and it's learning whether or not this is a conversation you need to have at all.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Like, in other words, another person can, let's just say the theology is off. That's all right. I mean, unless it's heretical and people are, really being led astray by it, okay, then I think that has to be dealt with, because watch your life and your doctrine closely. So there's a responsibility and a mandate on the leader for that. The teacher is under stricter judgment. So yeah, from that vantage point, however, if it's just, I probably wouldn't have said it like that, but it's all good. Let's go get Chili's. It's like
yeah. Well, there's a reason it's like a million different denominations.
Everything doesn't need to be addressed. So part of it is, even with the Grammy stuff, the way that I addressed it online was because I went back and forth for like 4 days. Like, should I say something? Because they just coming at me. They are at my neck right now. And normally I like to stay above the fray and not say much. But I was like, I feel like I have to say something because they won't stop. And so what I said was, my first post, I said, first I started to do like a live like Kurt did for the Grammys. He did like a live and it was like 45 minutes. I was like, nobody want to hear me talk that long.
and people don't know, I meant to say this, people don't know how close you and Kirk are.
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, like a spiritual
family.
advisor for him,
Yeah,
and
that's
then y'all are family.
family.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Kirk Franklin.
Kurt Franklin,
Okay.
for sure. So Kurt, I'm sorry, I looked at Kirk and I said, I don't want to do that. I thought about it, I was like, that could be one way. Nah, that's gonna be too much. So I just did sound bites. So I did Grammy Combo 101.
Yeah.
First thing I said was, I said, the one thing I want to say is that Christians have to be known for more than what we hate. Christians have to be known for more than what we hate. And I'm going to leave that there. Boom. That was Grammy 101.
I love it.
And the reason why I'm grateful I took that approach, because what that does is it stirs up the conversation amongst the people. Does that make sense? And so I think, for me, it's just been a journey and so I'm saying that to say it's been a journey and coming to this place, but it's a journey for my supporters too, because they're like, this truth is different. Because Emanuel's different, because truth would have been, out of the 45-minute
exegesis.
Exegesis
Right.
of here's all the reasons why y'all need to, you see what I mean? But I think it's just a lot more wisdom now and how to do what we do and whether to do it at all. Yeah.
Come on. We're going to close here. I just want to clap for the audience. Thank you, guys. They've been here. They've been pushing us. The Amen Corner. Favorite moments from the album?
Favorite moments from the album. Favorite songs or favorite moments?
All right, I'm going to go with my favorite song.
Okay,
so,
go with your favorite song.
Fred Hammond.
Oh. Dun, 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 dun. Come to the police party, y'all.
People know me on the surface.
Oh.
They don't understand the plot. I'm not big enough to worship. If you can put me in the box. Oh, that's the first line. And that's you speaking
as God. Yeah.
Say it again.
People love me on the surface. They don't understand the plot. I ain't big enough to worship if you could put me in a box.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was it like working with Fred Hammond?
Oh, man.
You know him.
That's Unc.
Yeah.
Unc. I love Fred because he really is Unc. I flew to Dallas, and so first of all, Unc don't come out for nobody. He don't be doing features. You don't see him doing nothing.
Yeah.
Which he told me. He's like, I love you, nephew.
Because I don't do.
Because not only did he do the feature.
Clear. She said clear.
Clear. That's exactly. I love you, nephew. Not only did he do the feature, but then I flew to Dallas and he did a 2-hour interview with me, like this.
Wow.
Just a conversation. We just sat and talked.
Legends.
Oh, crazy. And I'm like, the whole time I'm like, see, because here's the thing. Even though these are my friends, I still honor them too.
Yes.
I feel the way, listen, Pages of Life saved my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But it's weird because you be like, oh, Pages of Life, and he just, thank you, nephew. So it's like you don't want to pour it on too thick.
All right. Kim Burrell.
All right.
Kim Burrell. How was it?
Kim, another one. She don't come up with Kim is the big sis. The reason why that was such a significant moment is because that was round 3.
You're right.
I have been trying since like 2017. I think I tried to get her on. It's complicated. 2016.
Wow.
I've been trying to get her on a record, and
were y'all in the studio together?
She and I weren't in the studio together.
How did that?
Oh, she went to the studio. So she was in D.C. at the time.
Yeah.
And so when I hit her about it, I think she was in Dallas. She was traveling a bunch. And then once she got settled, she was in D.C. for a couple of days. And so she said, she told me, she was like, son, I got you. As soon as I get to D.C., I got like 2-3 days. I'm going to run up in the studio and take care of it. And
So she's sending you vocals back.
yeah, sending me vocals. She sent, you know, and I got video footage of her in the studio. I'm like, this is Kim doing my record, bro.
Yolanda Adams.
Yolanda, I couldn't believe I was hearing her voice when I got the vocals back.
Woo.
You know what I mean? I'm like, this is riding through the storm.
PJ Morton. PJ Morton.
I don't even know what to say about PJ.
And y'all was together at the Grammys this year.
were.
Y'all was like,
Yeah.
you said,
Love you, bro.
he walked up to you and started singing the song.
So PJ walked up to me. So here's the crazy thing about social media. I think I met everybody already, and I didn't. I didn't. Like y'all, all my friends, we text back and forth all day. We talk, we FaceTime, and I ain't never meet you. But you can't tell me I didn't meet you.
Right.
I don't realize I didn't meet you till I meet you. So I'm like, oh, I'm so used to talking to PJ.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I'd never met him.
Yeah.
And so,
Wow.
so when I saw him, I was like, first Samo was there. So I don't know if y'all know Samo, but it was Samo, you know Samo. So it was Samo, which I didn't realize. Samo did brand new off the Vet record.
Okay.
So
the vocalist.
yeah, he's the vocalist.
Got it.
I seen Samo.
I know you're talking about.
Listen, Samo, FaceTime, the whole thing. You can't tell me I didn't meet him until I met him.
Oh, hey.
I'm like,
you
bro,
taller than
bro, you 7'3". Bro, you tall as Jax, bro. I felt like real insecure when I got, because I didn't have my Timbs on either. I'm shaking his hand at his stomach. I'm like, it was a moment. Okay, so it's Samo and PJ's right here. And so when I come through and I'm like, I see Samo. Oh wait, we're talking a little bit. He just moved, so I'm asking him about his move and the whole thing. And I turned my attention to PJ, and PJ was like, these gray hairs,
They keep going.
I was like, they keep growing.
And PJ, he supported that song. He shared it on his Insta.
He did. He shared it on
He
his
loved it.
Insta. We're in the process of talking through, shooting the visual for it.
Yeah. Tell us briefly, that song's about what?
That song is probably the most important song on the album in terms of like how it's connecting. So it's universal and everybody's loving it. So I think we're gonna do a lot with it. The song essentially is about aging gracefully. You know, because it's the benefit of kind of being the young OG in the game. You know, as I've gotten older, there's a lot of questions you have to ask, particularly as a hip hop artist, which is, you know, who am I going to be? What am I going to do? What's going to be my sound? And there's what's trending in the stream, and I don't do that. I don't really make dance music like that. I don't really make music that I ain't Lil Uzi Vert. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I can't. I don't have nothing to make nobody do that. And so, yeah, but neither am I, you know, some of the patriarchs that, you know, kind of led the way for people like myself. So I sit right in the middle child. And with that, you know, there's a determination about who you need to be. And for me, it's just own the space that you're in. And, you know, even though I'm the oldest artist on the bill and on the stage, but I'm on the stage.
I love it.
And I think the beautiful thing is that when we're off the stage, see, the beautiful thing about taking ownership of who you are and what station of life you're in is not about what's on the stage, because we're going to do the same thing on the stage. You're going to rock the crowd, I'm going to rock the crowd in different ways. What the benefit is what's going to happen after. Because when we get in that green room, you got life experiences at 25 that I've seen and I've been through and I've experienced. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And questions that I can answer and things that I can speak to and things that I can say, I never figured it out to, you know?
Yes.
Places, spaces that I've navigated through and things that I've experienced in this industry that they haven't been there yet. And so I think there's something beautiful about aging gracefully. And by that, I just mean taking ownership of the fact that you're getting older, that the gray hair is coming in. I think that, and we talked about this even at the church, the wisdom of the gray hair is
Story
necessary.
Church Atlanta.
Story Church Atlanta.
If you in the hay, holler at us.
What the world needs is young legs and gray hair. We need the mobilization of the young legs, the fervor, the zeal, the drive, I can stay up 72 hours. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And, you know, and the wisdom and the experience of the gray hair. And once we come to that realization, you know, in a culture of ageism where everybody's like trying to, it's not just
Be
about
young.
preserving your youthfulness. I think that's different. Yeah. It's trying to preserve it's trying to stay young. That's different. Trying to stay young is not the same as preserving youthfulness. Right. Youthfulness is vitality. I still got the life of a 25-year-old.
Right.
The spirit, you know what I mean? But to try to stay young, all these fillers and and everybody's just doing all kinds of weird stuff to their bodies just to try to stay young, you know? And so for me, it's like, nah, I ain't really trying to stay young, you know? But now they're because I got homies that's like 33 and 34 years old, like, oh, I'm old, doc. I'm like, bro, you are not.
You're 30.
You're 33, bro. Like, please stop acting like that.
Let's end here.
Yeah.
Last question. What does this album mean to you?
To me, this album is the beginning of a new chapter of my life.
Wow.
Yeah. It's, if you thought you knew, keep reading.
Thank you, bro. We just wrapped the interview, first ever episode of The Narrative with The Truth. Mm-hmm. Now, Emanuel. Bro, where can they get the album and how can they follow you?
You can get the album everywhere they stream music.
Yeah.
You can download the album on iTunes.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this as a caveat. On Spotify, it's under compilations. So I think that's important.
Yes.
But everywhere else, just stream it like normal, or you can download it on iTunes.
So they type in The Truth and then find the album Emanuel.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yes. And
Social.
then my socials
Yeah.
are T.R.U.T.H on Duty. That's
Yeah.
everywhere.
That's it.
T.R.U.T.H on Duty.
Keep rocking with us.